Hi there, my name's Scott, and today I'm going to give you a brief tutorial on how to use this wonderful Starcraft pontoon. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is check if we have any gas in the boat. In order to do that, turn the key into the run position, and we can check the gas gauge. As you can see right now, we're pretty close to empty. The pontoon does carry 25 gallons of gas, so in this case, you actually still have enough fuel to probably do a couple of hours of driving, but it's a good idea to fuel up. You don't want to be stranded out oaring your way back into the dock. If we do need fuel, what we're going to do is to the right side of the driver's seat, you'll find a funnel. Grab the funnel. The fuel is put in the boat right here on the back port side. You open the flap, insert the funnel, pour your gas in. There is a variety of places in the Traverse City area to get wreck fuel, but in the case where there's no wreck fuel, premium is okay, but please don't put anything below premium grade into the pontoon boat. All right, now that we've got fuel in the boat, it's time to make sure that the motor is properly trimmed. Right now, as you can see, the propeller is completely out of the water. If you were to turn the boat on with the propeller in this position, you could do serious damage to the lower unit. You want to make sure that the propeller is fully submerged at all times. So in order to do that, we come into the boat, and at the helm, you'll find our throttle. On the side of the throttle, right here where my thumb is the trim control. Down is down, up is up, fairly self-explanatory. So we'll trim it down, and as you can see, the propeller will now be submerged into the water. A good rule of thumb is to have the top of the motor about level or parallel to the water, and that should really get you by in most situations. The only time when you really need to trim the motor up is when you're driving in very shallow water, but you can pretty much run the boat in anything deeper than 3 or 4 feet at that level, or maybe a little bit up. I went a little bit overboard. We don't have a trim gauge on the dash, so you do have to visually inspect it to make sure that the trim is properly set. Again, to demonstrate at a more close-up level how to operate the trim, down and up. Up will bring the motor up out of the water, down will lower it back in. All right, now that we've got the trim motor properly set, we can go ahead and start the boat. Make sure that you're still fastened to the dock before you try starting the motor. Nothing's worse than untying the boat and drifting away while you struggle to get the motor to run. So while we're still tied on, I'll come to the helm, and you'll see on the forward control there is a button right here. I'm going to press that button and advance the throttle, and then turn the key to the start position. Motor will crank. Doesn't always start up on the first try. That's okay. Maybe give it a little bit more gas. This is just giving it a little bit more gas. If that still doesn't work, what you can do is push the key down, and while pushing it down and holding it down, then turn it on to start, and that will activate the choke. That usually gets it going. You'll hear the motor rev up to high RPM. You won't be able to put the boat in gear at that point. You'll have to lower it back down into neutral, and now you can put the boat in gear. Now, a lot of times if you've already been on the boat that day, or you're starting it up after you've been out driving it already, you won't need to do the throttle advance. You can simply turn the key and the motor will start right up. All right, now that we've got the boat ready to go, let's say it's a sunny day, you want to put the bimini cover up. I'll show you how to do that. All right, first things first, we got to take the cover off simply by unzipping both the zippers. Pull the cover on. You can pull that out, and I usually just store this in one of the storage compartments that are under the seats. Next step is to grab the forwardmost bar, or the top bar, and this will begin to unfold. Now, we need to put this vertical member into this bracket, and then slide this pin through the holes. You might have to work it a little bit to get all 4 holes to line up, but it's not too bad. And then repeat on this side. Now the next step, we need to put these forward vertical arms up here to these front brackets. That can be a little bit difficult, so you might need to get up. It's obviously best to have 2 or 3 people working together on this. But you can do it by yourself if you're ambitious enough. Now this one's a little bit more tricky than the one in the back. You've got to use a little muscle to get those holes to line up and insert your pin. And the same on the other side. Simply got to use a little force to pull this down. Again, it's good to have a friend, or at least someone that you pay to be your friend, to get these in for you. There you have it, and now your bimini top is up. Once we've completed our day of boating and are ready to pack the boat up for the night, you want to take the bimini top back down, especially if it's going to be windy. Even if it's windy conditions during the day, sometimes it's best not to put it up. It does catch a lot of wind. But in any regard, what you're going to do with the bimini to take it down is exactly what you just did to put it up, but in reverse order. So take these pins out in the front. Fold these legs back into the black clip. And then walk it back. Again, it's nice to have a second set of hands, because you've got to make sure that these 4 aluminum bars go together in the right order. So you're kind of folding them in order as we go. Now, once we've got it this far, it's time to take out our back pins. And then fold these back legs up. You see that those back legs fit right into the same bracket that you just had the pin in, like so. And all that's left to do is put our cover back on. It's fairly simple. Kind of roll this up a little bit as best you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. Open your storage compartment where you put the cover. It's made a little bit more difficult today doing it by myself, and the fact that it's a little breezy out, but you can usually get it under control here fairly easily. Now get your zipper, one of 2 zippers started. That's always the hardest part. Once you've got it going, and you can just kind of work it together while you roll the cover up on itself. Keep pulling that zipper down, and you don't have to completely finish it, but get it close to zipped all the way to the end. And then we will repeat on this side. No real rocket science to it, just kind of tucking and folding as you zip down. Again, until you've got it at the end of the zipper, or in this case within an inch or two of the end, and your bimini top is all packed up. All right, now that we've got most of our checklist taken care of, the motor's trimmed down and ready to go, we'll fire up the boat and take this thing out for a spin. Once you've got it running, again, I like to make sure that it stays running for more than a few seconds. Doesn't always, it can be a little stubborn at times. So before I'm going to untie, I'm going to make sure that the boat is idling for, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds or so, and then we'll untie ourselves and push off. Now this, again, definitely helps to have another person with you, so that one person can remain in the boat while the other person stands on the dock and unties the ropes. We'll untie the front one. That can go right on the boat. Make sure that all the rope is on the boat. You do not want a rope tangling the prop. Come to the back. Untie this one. And now maybe just give it a bit of a tug. Send it out. So it makes it a little bit easier once you're in the boat. But again, wrap this one up. Throw it on board. And now we're ready to go. Put it in reverse. The forward control is sticky. So if you're having trouble getting into reverse, just give it a little more. You got to be a little rough with her. And once we're back out toward the middle of Moonlight Bay here, then we can complete our back out. Again, it's a little sticky, but put it in forward. And we're ready to go for a spin. Probably the trickiest part of your trip is docking the boat. So most importantly, just take it slow. I alternate between forward and neutral. I'll nudge it forward, kind of aiming for the front corner of the dock, and then put it back in neutral and kind of coast in. I like to coast in with the wheel pointing me to the left, so at least I'm going to get the nose of the boat toward that front cleat is the goal. Again, take it slow. The last thing you want to do is crash into the dock. But on a windy day like today, you might have to get in the water. That's not the end of the world. It's very clean and clear here. Trim up the motor maybe, and once you get close to the dock, just nudge it in neutral. You can nudge up against the dock, that's okay. I'll come up front once I'm close, grabbing that rope. Now, once you've got the front of the boat under control, it can be a bit of a process getting the back of the boat onto the back cleat. Again, it's quite windy today, so it's pushing that boat away from the dock. That's all right. Let's just get this front cleat on. You're going to do a figure 8 motion, and then to complete it, kind of flip it up and under. So you make that loop, and then rotate it, flip it, cinch it. I'm going to go cut the motor as we get into shallow water. And now I can come to the back of the boat. Again, if you're doing it by yourself, it's a little bit trickier. If you have a friend with you, you may be able to toss them this back rope. but you can always do it by yourself as well. This is a bit of a challenge, but now that I've got the rope, I can swing the back of the boat back to this back cleat. And again, could have maybe trimmed that motor up a little bit more to keep it out of the dirt, but it's not a huge deal as long as you don't run it aground. Now once I get this in nice and snug, and pretty much so that the cleat on the boat and the cleat on the corner of the dock are pretty much even with one another, or close to, I'll tie my cleat hitch. So again, that figure 8 motion. And then to finish it, this is the key. You want your lead end to go under, and then that cinches down. I'll show you one more time. Do your figure 8, come across, and loop under. And now we'll go back to the front. We've got a little bit too much slack in the front. So I was in a little bit of a hurry trying to do this all myself. So we'll snug this up. So that our pool noodle is just about touching the dock. There's your figure 8 and the finish. And now the boat is secure, ready to be taken out again tomorrow. All right, before I let you go, here's a few more miscellaneous items about the pontoon boat and some safety items. First of all, you do have to have a life jacket on board for every person that is aboard the boat. You can find life jackets up in the front under these 2 seats. Navigation lights are the top left button. You'll see the light come on, and you'll then know that your navigation lights are on. Those are required by law, I believe, within or at sunset or within half an hour. So once it starts getting dark, you'll see everyone turn their lights on, and you should too. This is the swim ladder. You can take that out, and it will hook into either these 2 holes or these 2 holes by the side doors. I'll show you how to do that. So you're going to take the swim ladder, dump the rainwater out of it. Rained pretty hard here last night. You'll open the door. This unfolds. You'll see these 2 rubber ends will go against the side of the pontoon, while the bare metal ends will fit in those holes. Another safety item is the fire extinguisher that's located right underneath the forward controls near the helm. There are instructions on the fire extinguisher. Heaven forbid you have to use it, but again, it's another item that's required by Michigan law. Lastly, we'll talk about anchoring. The anchor is found in this compartment underneath the back seat. You can pull that out and throw it overboard if you choose to anchor. It's a pretty light anchor for this boat, so I recommend that you use a lot of rope to make sure that you're going to hold a little bit better. Tends to be the more slack you have out, the better your anchor will hold. So you can use that to your advantage, but just keep your wits about you, because the anchor doesn't always hold you in place. If things do go awry out there and you end up stranded, first off, there's a lot of nice people around. Someone will probably be able to give you a tow. If you're unable to flag someone down, we do have oars on board. They're located in this back compartment. Hopefully you won't have to use them, but I do want to show them to you so that you know that they're there in case of emergency. that should about wrap it up for the Starcraft Pontoon. Hopefully you enjoy it and have a great time. And if you do experience any technical difficulties, feel free to reach out to us and we can try and help you the best we can.